Peter, can you hear me? Yeah, awesome. Thank you.
All right. Welcome, everyone. Glad that you guys are here today. To all of our guests in the room, as well as to our individuals on our hybrid meetings on Zoom, thank you so much for being here today. My name is Harrison Turner, and I get the honor of serving as the president of the Rotary Club of Raleigh this year. And today is our May 11th meeting, and we have our very own Chuck Leedy speaking to us today. Very excited to hear from him. So thank you for being here to support Chuck. Before we go on, I just want to make sure everybody knows if you parked in the parking garage behind us, please make sure to scan the QR code up on the screen or by the front door to make sure that you do not get a beautiful invoice in the mail from the parking authority. I really appreciate every single one of you guys being here, as you know, in this room today. I was thinking about it this past week. April is probably the most busy month of the year for me. We have 5 birthdays in my family, and then right after that, you've got Mother's Day. May's turning out to be a really busy month. And as I look at just all of our lives in general, every single one of us here is busy. And even though we live in a world that is trying to become more convenient and accessible through our devices and apps and things like that, it seems like we're more stressed out than we've ever been. We're more busy.
Tumors, can you hear me?
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Joe Malfeo, and I was invited here by Chuck Leedy. I'm president of Hunter Street Investment Advisors, and we're happy to be members here through Chuck. Thank you to Jennifer and Harrison today for the invite, and we're looking forward to getting to know everybody. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Jamie Powell. I'm the manager of institutional giving for the North Carolina Museum of Art. I have recently taken over our corporate membership program, and I'm just getting out there to make new connections in the community. So thanks for having me.
Awesome. This is my guest, Laura. She's with Green Resources, and you can tell everyone what you do.
Hello, thank you for having me. Jennifer invited me. I'm with Green Resources. We're a local workforce solutions firm. I work in business development for them. So thank you for having me.
Huh? We should be good now. Okay, my apologies. All right. All righty. Now, Diamante, with a membership update, I think we've got some readings and inductions today.
Okay.
We're fast today, man.
Yeah. Okay. All righty, you guys, how are we doing today?
Sorry, y'all. It's not our fault.
And then also too, real estate. With that, he is his experience. with admitting to the memory, to the membership of the Club Club. And you will answer the questions by answering. The first question is will you join us as we strive to live a life of success? Will you join us in our activities for our service projects and fundraising activities in support of our? Perfect. And the last one is, will you join? Rotary's here.
Testing 1, 2.
Disease prevention, providing clean water sanitation, maternal and child health, as well as basic education and literacy.
Thank you, Peter. Now I just have to go up there and switch it again. Yes.
Thank you very much.
Okay, they should be able to hear now. Let us know on Zoom if you can hear us. I'm just going to leave it. Okay, very good. And to highlight for our guests here who might not know, a couple weeks ago, we had a tree dedication at the governor's mansion where we had planted 7 trees, the Rotary Club of Raleigh. And it was just a beautiful day of a reminder of the generational impact this club is making to the city of Raleigh. So I know John talks about trees quite a bit. He's got a passion for trees. There is a lot of opportunity out there. And this is something that's going to benefit my children, my children's children, and this community for a long time. So, all right, birthdays and anniversaries. Today, of course, he's not here, but today's Tommy's birthday. So happy birthday, Tommy, wherever you are. We also have Martin Worf. His birthday's today. Tom, your birthday's on Wednesday. He's doing raffle stuff, but Tom Jordan's birthday is on Wednesday. And then on anniversaries, we have Richard and Lisa Averett on the 15th. Happy anniversary. How many years? I'll come back to you. I'll come back to you. 22. Okay, brother. Good stuff. Terry and Sarah Reeves is also on the 16th, and Burke and Terry Haywood is on the 16th. 45 years for them. So happy birthday, happy anniversary to everyone. Tom, happy birthday on Wednesday, brother. Happy birthday on Wednesday. Yes, sir. All right, moving on. We have, you'll see this in just a moment on the upcoming meetings, but next week on the 18th, we have our Wilson Heyman VSLA award ceremony. And what I wanted to do today is do a real quick, I had some remarks that were prepared for our guests here today, as well as our new members who might not know who Wilson Heyman was or what this VSLA award, the Vocational Service Leadership Award, is all about. So I've prepared some remarks that I'd like to go through real quick as we highlight this upcoming event and the importance of being here next week to support the recipient, who is Smedes York this year, which we're very excited about. So I want to highlight one of the more meaningful recognitions at our club this year, which is the Wilson Heyman Vocational Service Leadership Award. This award recognizes someone in our community who is not a member of our club, but whose life and work reflect the value we try to live as Rotarians, which is service above self. For our new members, this award was renamed several years ago. I think it was in 2021, in memory of Wilson Heyman, a beloved Raleigh Rotarian, a past president of this club, attorney, church leader, civic servant, and a great citizen of Raleigh. Wilson graduated from Princeton, where he was a history major, a member of the Charter Club, and a cellist in the University Orchestra. He later earned his law degree at UNC, and after clerking the Chief Justice of North Carolina and Supreme Court, and worked for North Carolina Attorney General's office. He joined Poynter Spruill in Raleigh in 1990, where he became a partner and a nationally recognized healthcare attorney. But what made Wilson special was not simply what he achieved professionally, it was how he used his vocation, his influence, his intellect, and time to serve others. He helped establish the North Carolina Museum of History Foundation and later served as its vice chair. He was also deeply involved in the United Methodist Church. He went to Hayes Barton and served as the longest serving chancellor of the North Carolina United Methodist Church Conference, including 3 years as the national president of the Council of Chancellors. Wilson also served this club as president and molded the kind of steady, thoughtful service this club's all about. Honestly, we stand on his shoulders. And that is why this award matters. It gives us a chance to recognize people in Raleigh who may not be a Rotarian, but who are living Rotary's values in visible and lasting ways. Past recipients have been, and we've got a full list up here of some of the recent years, but past recipients have been Van Eur, who is with, oh my goodness, the Angus Bar, my goodness, Joe Brumster and Ira David Wood III, each whom have served its community in a distinct and meaningful way. This year, as I mentioned just a minute ago, we have the privilege of honoring Smedes York, who has been he's got a legacy here in Raleigh, and everyone who's from Raleigh knows him well. So as we prepare for this presentation coming up next week, I just want to emphasize the importance of us being here next week. If you're able or inviting someone as a guest to highlight what it means to be a Rotarian, and if you're not a Rotarian, what that looks like in our community. So wanted to highlight that as we go forward. And also just to give us a little bit of history, if you don't know who Wilson Heyman was, he was a wonderful man. As a personal story of mine, he was the second person that came and introduced himself my first Rotary meeting, and really kind of helped solidify to me that I wanted to be a Rotarian. All right, upcoming meetings, as I mentioned, next week we've got the Wilson Heyman VSLA Award ceremony. The 26th, we have no meeting for Memorial Day. And then on the 1st, we have Taylor Duncan, who is with Alternative Baseballs for those on the spectrum. He's going to be presenting about the great work they've been doing and as their group continues to grow. Now, once again, Tom Jordan for the raffle, brother. Come on up.
I'll let you draw.
Oh, you're going to let me draw today?
Yeah.
Okay. How much is in the
45.
45 today. All right. We've got ticket 144451. 144451. Tom, did you didn't win last week, did you? Yeah, you won 2 weeks ago. It pays to play. It pays to play. All right, brother. And then you get to pull the card, and if it's the ace of clubs, we've got a pot of a good amount, over $400, I think it is.
Yep.
Joker's $100.
Queen.
Queen of clubs. Oh, very close. All right, the pot continues to grow. Wonderful. All right. Now, quickly moving on, we have our happy dollars and our cart buckets on the table, please. So if you have any spare change or any kind of loose dollars, please put that in there. Or if you want to write an IOU for happy dollars, please put that in the bucket and we'll get it over to Linda. But Charlie, my happy dollars guy, come on up. There's a lot of reasons to be happy. Do we have any happy dollars this week, guys?
That's right. Thank you, President Harrison. I'm happy to see Patty. I'm happy to see Pete. Anybody happy today? Nobody's happy. Happy to see Carrie. Thank you.
I've got a very silly one. Many of y'all know that we have our first flock of sheep this year, and I saw sheep detectives over the weekend. And one of our sheep, or two of them, are Icelandics, and there was an Icelandic ram in it.
Really?
So that's very silly happy dollar.
That makes me happy to hear that. Thank you. Thank you, Carrie. Anybody else? Pete.
We would be remiss if we didn't mention the Canes back-to-back sweeps.
That's all right. That's all right.
8 in a row.
8 in a row, Carolina Hurricanes. How about that? I'm happy to hear that too. Here you go.
$5, somebody else winning next year.
Thank you. We're happy. Thank you, Tom. All right. Anybody else? I'm happy to see my buddy Randy back there. Hey, Randy. Thank you, President Harrison.
Beautiful. All right. Thank you, Charlie. Appreciate that. And I highlight those sentiments. I mean, the Canes have been playing great. I'm looking forward to them breaking their Eastern Conference Finals curse this year. That's what we're going to look forward to. All right. Now it is our distinct pleasure to have our very own Chuck Leedy coming up today. Chuck Leedy is a financial advisor for Hunter Street Financial Advisors. He has long experience managing institutional investment portfolios, making and implementing investment decisions for University of Chapel Hill Endowment and Novant Health Capital Reserve Fund. Chuck continues his work with Hunter Street Investment Advisors in Apex. His newsletter is distributed to 200 money managers, individuals, former colleagues, and friends. Previously, Chuck worked at the Wall Street firm of Solomon Brothers, Goldman Sachs, and the Deutsche Bank, excuse me. And he has become a huge part of this club, jumped in with both feet. Very happy that you're here, and I'm looking forward to hear your perspectives on the oil price.
Thank you. I currently have 200 newsletter recipients, but Diamante tells me he can get that to 400 pretty quickly. So thank you. As Harrison mentioned, I'm Chuck Leedy. I'm with Hunter Street Investment Advisors. We're a boutique small firm down in Apex. We do financial planning, investment management, and financial advisory. And also we advise small business owners are trying to sell getting ready to sell their business. Down, oh, sorry, okay. There are also 4 other people doing in the Rotary do the same thing. I know all of them. They're all strong professionals. I would trust any of them except maybe the second guy from the left. He's a little questionable, but all solid, doing the same thing we do. Now, credibility. My next question is why should you listen to anything I say or believe anything I say? My process, my philosophy is very different. I'm not a foundational thinker. I don't come up with original ideas. My strength is gathering information, synthesizing it, and then weighing it. And then that's how I come up with my market thoughts. And to do that, I rely on a big network of people, but mainly the top group. Those are independent and purchased research from like Bianco and Grants, and then also. Okay, sorry. Is that good? Okay, correct me at will, please. Financial press. There are a lot of Financial Times. If I was on a desert island, that's the one publication I'd want is the Financial Times, and then on down the pike. Sorry. So we're going to talk about how do we get here, where are we now, and where are we going with oil? How do we get here? Well, my cousin has a grandson that plays little kid soccer, and his coach was talking to him and said, when we have a goal scored against us, you can look back up field and see where something happened up there that led to this goal. And so it's pretty important to look at the history of relationships. This is what's going on in the Middle East right now. There are 6 active conflicts, and they're intertwined. It's kind of you push this button here, and 3 buttons go up over there. Extremely, extremely complex. And Paul, I don't see him here today, but he's after the Camp David Accords, he came home and said to his dad, who'd been a diplomat in the Middle East. He said, "Dad, this agreement solves the Israeli-Egypt problem." And I go, "Son, they've been fighting about that for 1,400 years. A piece of paper ain't going to change it." And that makes all these things much more intractable than they would be, just the history and the culture of them. Now, I'm going to draw down to Iran and our relationship with Iran. And this is what I call phase 1 of our relationship, 1953 to 2015. In 1953, the president of Iran nationalized the oil companies. And we in England couldn't have that. We couldn't have BP not owning or Shell owning those. So we orchestrated the overthrow of the president, and we installed the Shah. Not only did we install the Shah, we sent 5 or 6 CIA people over there to help him set up the surveillance program. So for 73 to 78, the Shah, he westernized the urban areas and didn't bring but there was a lot of oppression there. 79, they overthrew the Shah, and they took, we grant the Shah a medical asylum, and the hostages were taken. And so from 79 to 5, they've had 47 years to hate us. I didn't say this is necessarily going to be a happy presentation. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm sorry. And stop me immediately if you can't hear. Thank you. Yeah, I've got notes on this. So, thank you. Oh, okay, good. In 2015, this is the nuclear relationship. In 2015, 6 countries, ourselves, UK, France, Russia, China, and Germany, reached an agreement with Iran, where Iran would limit their nuclear activities to a certain amount of refined fuel, and they would open up all the facilities for the International Atomic Energy Association to inspect. In return, we agreed to lift the economic sanctions on them and unfreeze their assets. And so in 2018, the U.S. withdrew from that agreement. And so we reimposed the sanctions, and then they start rolling back things and then started producing more nuclear material. So 2016, 18 to 26, their stockpile has grown quite a bit. And then in February of 26, we invaded, or not invaded, we attacked Iran. Patty, you look like you're a little disagreeing with what I'm saying. Your face, you look like you don't agree with what this history. No? What's that? I'm sorry. Okay. Now, Straits of Hormuz closes. We lose 20% of our global oil supply. And so, we expect, of course, oil prices to rise dramatically. And they did, but if you look at the right, they didn't rise as dramatically as you might think. You think at that kind of cutoff, we'd have like $150 oil, but we didn't. And just by comparison, they left yellow boxes to Ukraine, and we actually went higher during the Ukrainian invasion. So our oil price wise, for the moment, was kind of limited, painful but limited. The bottom is we got lucky. We got lucky. There was a pre-war glut of oil at sea. If you go back to the oil trades in November, December, people are arguing, what are you going to do with this excess oil, that kind of thing. The second thing is up top, OPEC heard the war drums and pre-shipped a lot of oil. So there's a lot of oil at sea from them. And then finally, kind of a strange twist. We had embargoed Russian oil. They couldn't sell it to India. But as a result of the closing of Hormuz, we lifted those sanctions, and it was already on ship. So that was already in there. So we had a nice cushion of oil built up, just unplanned in a window. So where are we now as far as supply goes? So we're still at about a 10 million barrel daily deficit. And most of those excess supplies and commercial inventories have been drawn down. Like the oil at sea right now is jet fuel is about 10% below where it needs to be. Diesel fuel is, and again, this is just the at sea part, is it's at the lowest range of operability. So we're out of the buffer pretty much. And what have occurred in the last 2 months, Asia has dramatically curtailed everyday activity. It closed government offices, universities, cut down to 4-day work weeks, limited driving. And for them, I think there's a buy and a sell signal. So Asia has dramatically curtailed activity. Now for them, it's not just a price situation. It's a able to get it situation because all their oil comes from that Straits of Hormuz. So the second level, gasoline prices, of course, are a lot higher. And we in the U.S. have been largely shielded from this. I mean, what I'm saying is it hasn't seemed to affect us as much as these other countries, but that's likely to come to. I mean, not to say that $5 gas doesn't affect us, but compared to these other countries, we've been relatively shielded. So what has to happen now? Well, there's no new supply. You got to get demand down, as they did in Asia. We've got oil consumption to fall by 20% or so. And according to these the people that know about these things and model them, to get that, oil's going to have to go above 136 bucks or higher. They picked that number, 136 or higher. So if no agreement is reached, likely a year or more of inflation and global recession. If there's no agreement reached, it's a bleak outlook. They don't have to tell anybody here that. But they don't think that's the most likely case by any stretch. If there's an agreement reached, it's spot prices remain high for a few months, so maybe 3 to 8 months, 3 to 6 months. The oil pipeline, the ships, the tanks, have to be replenished, so that'll keep some demand. And the timeline is probably 3 to 6 months. It may be closer to 6 to 9 months, but let's say 3 to 9 months. So, but if that happens, there's no reason that oil wouldn't come back down to its pre-level pre-war level of $68 a barrel. Excuse me. So there's no supply or technical reason for oil not to come back down. It's just all that you can see with the spike up. It's all that disruption of the Gulf. So right now, the bottom line, where are the negotiations? Well, the bottom line is the top one. Iran has to offer a solution that allows Trump to save face and paint it as a victory. That, as I read these people, is a key point. Now, the U.S. demands immediate opening of the straits. We'll have to, and permanent end to Iran's nuclear program. Well, we'll probably have to accept a much reduced limitation of the nuclear. They're not going to give us the program. They're not going to sell us uranium, but we'll have to come to terms with the fact that we'll have maybe a 15, 20-year moratorium, as we did in the prior agreement. Iran's peace proposal is postponing the nuclear regulation negotiations. They want to talk about those later and talk about the straits first, mainly because they don't want to. If they settle the nuclear right now, that takes their leverage away. So they want to solve the strait first. Lifting of sanctions, withdrawal of U.S. forces, not likely, but maybe some nominal reduction, and then money for energy infrastructure replacement in Iran. So the probable outcome is likely 60. This is my estimate, which is it's likely that a settlement will be reached soon. I just reopening the straits, Iran, momentum, et cetera, et cetera. The key concessions needed, and then the issues the way I see it. Trump desperately wants to get out. I mean, he's no longer talking about this. He's talking back about the ballroom and stuff. This is not going at all like they thought it would. So, if I was in the shape, I want to desperately get out. So there's a lot of motivation for that angle, and there's a lot of course, political motivation. This is really hurting it's not only hurting the oil importing nations, it's hurting OPEC. OPEC has started talking to our government about financial aid because they can't sell stuff. They got no revenue coming in. So they've been talking to our guys preliminarily about some type of, I wouldn't say a bailout package, or some type of financial support. So they're fierce. I mean, the forces are fierce. And then Iran wants to end the blockade, to get back to global markets. They're not making as much money. They're selling oil from the Caspian Sea, but they're not making as much money. And so they want to get out of it as well. So that's basically it. There's some presentations on. I won't go through them, but just the appendix. They're the who's producing the oil, and then this is actually, believe it or not, that's a map of Asia and Pacific oil tankers at sea. This is the East Coast, and at any rate, so that's it. Welcome any comment? Yes, sir.
Hearing that since they're not able to export, that they're running out of places that oil can't shut down. Pretty oil.
Mm-hmm.
Completely destroy those oil fields.
Yeah.
Is that absolutely true? And why is that not happening yet? You said it was imminent.
Instead of what?
You said it was imminent.
Yeah. I'm sure they're close. My understanding is they can at least curtail production somewhat. Again, to your point, it doesn't matter if it's curtailed if nothing can get out of it. But that's an issue that I haven't heard talked a lot about, and it doesn't mean it's not a big issue. Yeah. But you're right. I mean, at some point, what are we going to do with this stuff? So, yes, sir. Of course, yeah, it would. I'm sorry. Yes, question was this. I'm sorry. The suspending the federal gas tax make a difference to the everyday consumer? And the response is, obviously yes, it would. By making gas cheaper, but it's not going to offset the full price of the hike. But it definitely would be a help, very short term to consumer. That's very short term. I just, because, see, oil doesn't, it's not just in the gas. Oil gets into everything because it's a material for building houses and plastics and all that. So it makes its way up there. And also even like trucking. Truckers now have an oil surcharge that they've always charged to pass through. So it's immediately passed. So, but it would definitely have a short-term psychological and financial benefit. Anything else? Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it very much, and have a good rest of the day.
Chuck, thank you so much for the presentation and making something that's extremely complicated, especially with all of the power pieces and things like that. It's more of an understanding. As a member, you know the importance of this mug, and we
Yes,
are so honored to
I
also
do.
provide you as a speaker mug.
As a charitable gesture, I would like to donate this back to charity. So thank you very much.
Yeah, of course, Chuck.
Thank
Thank you so much, Ted. Yes. All right, Rotarians. Well, with that, we'll go ahead and conclude today's meeting. As a reminder to everybody, next week is our Wilson Heyman BSLA Awards presentation. So please make sure to mark your calendars, be here for that, as well as a great opportunity to invite someone to the meeting to kind of highlight some of the great work that's being done in our community. So with that, please stand for the four-way test. Of the things we think, say, and do, first, is it the truth? Second, is it fair to all concerned? Third, will it build goodwill and better friendships? And fourth, will it be beneficial to all concerned? We are dismissed.
Those were magnificent.
Oh, I'm glad you enjoyed them, Chuck.
I did.
Yes, sir. Good, good, good.